Sarah stared at her reflection at 11:47 p.m., scrolling through social media for the fourth time that evening. At 35, she felt like she was living someone else's life, going through the motions in a fog of unfulfilled promises. Tomorrow, she whispered to the mirror, the same words she'd been saying for 3 years. Tomorrow, I'll start exercising. Tomorrow, I'll work on that business idea. Tomorrow, I'll finally read that book collecting dust. But as she stood there, a harsh truth hit her. Tomorrow never comes. It's always today. And today she had wasted another 24 hours. The breaking point the next morning. Sarah's alarm rang at 6:30 a.m. She hit snooze, then snooze again. By the time she dragged herself out of bed, she had exactly 23 minutes to get ready for work. She grabbed coffee, skipped breakfast, and rushed out the door feeling defeated before her day had even begun. At lunch, she sat in her car eating fast food while watching TikTok videos. She told herself she was taking a break, but deep down, she knew she was avoiding life. Again, that evening, her younger sister called with excitement. "Sarah, I got the promotion. I've been waking up at 5:30 a.m. every day to work on my presentation skills and leadership books. It finally paid off." After congratulating her sister, Sarah hung up and felt something crack inside her chest. Not jealousy, recognition. Her sister was living the life Sarah had been dreaming about for years. The difference wasn't talent, luck, or opportunity. The difference was action. The decision that night, Sarah made a decision that would change everything. She grabbed a notebook and wrote, "I will give myself one gift every morning for the next 21 days, 15 minutes of my undivided attention. Not for work, social media, or mindless entertainment. For me, for my growth, for my dreams that have been collecting dust." She chose 6 a.m., early enough that the world couldn't interrupt, but manageable enough that she wouldn't burn out. The first week, breaking through day one was brutal. Her alarm felt like a personal attack. Her bed felt like quicksand. Every part of her wanted to hit snooze and return to the familiar comfort of procrastination. But she got up anyway. She stumbled to her kitchen, made coffee, and sat at her table with a journal. For 15 minutes, she wrote about her dreams, her fears, and her frustrations. Nothing profound happened, but something had shifted. She had kept a promise to herself. Day 2 was harder. The novelty was gone, replaced by the raw reality of discipline. But she showed up. By day 3, the excuses started flowing like water. 15 minutes won't make a real difference. I'm too tired to think clearly. I can start fresh on Monday. This is stupid. I should be sleeping. But Sarah had prepared for this moment. She had written herself a letter on day 1, "Future Sarah, you're about to quit. You're about to tell yourself that this doesn't matter. That 15 minutes is too small to change anything. But here's what you need to know. Every excuse you're about to make is the same excuse that's kept you stuck for years. This isn't about the 15 minutes. This is about proving to yourself that your word means something." She got up anyway. The shift by day 7. Something unexpected happened. Sarah wasn't just forcing herself to wake up for her 15 minutes, she was looking forward to it. This quiet time had become her sanctuary, the only part of her day that belonged entirely to her. She had started using the time to read books about entrepreneurship and personal development. She was sketching out ideas for the online course she'd always wanted to create. She was planning, learning, growing in ways she hadn't experienced since college. Her coworkers began to notice. "You seem different lately," her friend Marcus said over coffee. "More focused. What's going on?" Sarah smiled, feeling a quiet pride she hadn't experienced in years. "I'm becoming someone I can trust." The ripple effects were undeniable. Sarah was sleeping better because she was tired from actually doing meaningful work instead of mindlessly scrolling. She was eating better because she had time to plan her meals during her morning sessions. She was more present with friends because she wasn't constantly anxious about wasted time. Most importantly, she was building something she'd never had before, genuine self-respect. The breakthrough on day 15th. Sarah's 15-minute session led to something bigger than planning or journaling. She had been working on a business plan for an online course teaching personal organization and productivity. That morning, instead of just planning, she acted. She registered a domain name, set up a simple website, recorded her first video lesson on her phone. It wasn't perfect. Her voice shook, and she stumbled over words. The lighting was terrible, and she had to re-record 3 times. But it was real. It was done. It was proof that she was no longer just someone who dreamed, she was someone who built. Week 3, the transformation. By day 18, Sarah barely recognized her old self. The woman who used to hit snooze 5 times was now waking up naturally at 5:55 a.m., excited to start her day. The woman who used to spend evenings in a Netflix trance was now energized, creative, purposeful. Her 15-minute morning routine had grown organically. Some days she wrote. Other days she planned her business. Sometimes she did yoga or meditation. The specific activity mattered less than the consistency, the daily act of choosing herself first. Day 21 and beyond. On the final day of her experiment, Sarah looked in the same mirror where this journey had begun. The person staring back was fundamentally different, not because she looked different, but because she carried herself differently. Her shoulders were straight, her eyes were clear, and there was something powerful in her expression, confidence earned through action. Her 15-minute morning routine had generated incredible results, a complete business plan. She was genuinely proud of the first 5 modules of her online course, ready to launch a daily movement practice that started with simple stretching, deeper relationships because she was more present and confident, a sense of purpose that followed her throughout each day. Most importantly, unshakable proof that she could trust herself. But the real transformation wasn't in what she had accomplished, it was in who she had become. She was no longer someone who broke promises to herself. She was someone who showed up, even when it was hard, even when she didn't feel like it, even when no one was watching. 6 months later, Sarah's 21-day experiment had become a way of life. Her online course helped over 1,200 people transform their productivity and organization systems. She had quit her corporate job to run her business full-time. She had completed her first 5K race. She had rebuilt her relationship with her parents through honest, intentional conversations. But when people asked her for the secret to her transformation, her answer was always the same: I stopped negotiating with myself. I stopped waiting for motivation or the perfect moment. I stopped making tomorrow into a fantasy. I learned that the person I wanted to become was hiding inside the promises I was willing to keep to myself. It started with just 15 minutes, but it taught me that small, consistent actions create massive change. Your mirror moment right now. You're standing at your own mirror moment. You can keep reading, feel inspired for a few minutes, and then return to the same patterns that brought you here. Or you can make a different choice. Pick your 15 minutes. Pick your time. Pick your commitment. Not tomorrow, today. The person you want to become is waiting on the other side of consistent action. They're waiting for you to stop talking about change and start being change. Your mirror doesn't lie. It shows you exactly who you are right now. The question is, who will it show you 21 days from now? The choice, as always, is yours.